Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Five Nights at Freddy's 2, released in 2025. The first Five Nights was a colossal box office success, earning nearly $300 million and becoming Blumhouse's highest grossing movie of all time. It was an obvious outcome to anyone familiar with FNAF and its fan base. Equally obvious was that a sequel was guaranteed. Five Nights 2 takes place 2 years after the first film, with Mike, Abby, and Vanessa facing a new batch of killer animatronics from Fazbear Entertainment's past. FNAF 2 pulls a lot from the sequel game of the same name. In fact, the movie adheres much closer to the game's lore than its predecessor. That's because game creator Scott Cawthon got a lot more creative control after the first movie's financial success. While the original film was penned by a whole team of writers, the sequel was written solely by Cawthon himself. And while the man clearly knows how to make a successful video game franchise, writing a movie script is a different skill set entirely. As I've said, I wasn't really into the first movie, but I found it inoffensive. It was fine. Its biggest problem was how boring it was. I mean, half the time we were watching a guy sleep. But while there were nods to deeper lore and Easter eggs for franchise fans, it never felt inaccessible to a virgin viewer. That was thanks to a conscious decision by director Emma Tammy not to overwhelm the audience with too much info. While Tammy returns to the director's chair and makes the most of the material, there's only so much she can do with Cawthon's script, which is an absolute mess. Exposition is skillessly spat out in every scene, with the characters sounding like your little cousin explaining the game to you.
I used to come here when I was a kid.
You're thinking of the franchise location. This is the original.
It's called a perimeter lock. None of the animatronics can leave. They're being wirelessly controlled by the marionette.
If you're not already a Faz head, this thing will be completely incomprehensible. There's no structure to speak of, and the characters don't act like real human beings. Unlike the first movie, I do find this one straight up bad. I feel like FNAF fans deserve better. But that's just my opinion, and fans clearly had a different one, because they seem to have fucking loved this thing, with many saying it was better than the first one.
People are obsessed with that old pizzeria.
That blows my mind. For all its faults, the first FNAF was an actual movie. This one is just a parade of fan service and inside jokes. But hey, it worked for the Minecraft movie, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. And listen, I do feel kind of bad tearing into the movie because I know it means a lot to a lot of people, especially kids. Like Matthew Lillard knows.
I'm on the front lines every day. And the thing you have to know is you're making movies that matter so much to millions of little kids.
But I mean, you want me to be honest, right? Because I always try to be. And as I'm raggling on this thing, just remember, I'm not trying to personally attack anyone. I'm just trying to have fun, like how you had fun watching it. So maybe I'm just jealous, I don't know. This movie is buried in... Doorbells? Hello? Oh, hey there, little off-screen child.
Hi, I have an order for the Great Wizard Jenkins.
See. Oh, okay, your mom wants a spell for earbuds that she can use while still hearing what's happening around her. But you don't need magic for that.
I don't.
No, you just need the essential open-ear earbuds from today's sponsor, Raycon. You see, while traditional earbuds sit inside your ear canal, these sit just outside instead. So you get a clear sound, but you can actually hear what's happening around you too.
I don't know. My mom sent me for a spell. You think she'll like these?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I use my Raycons basically every day. When I'm working out, when I'm cooking, when I'm looking at my giant map. I really love that giant map. I'm sure your mom will love these when she's using them while, I don't know, whatever it is she likes to do.
Making incredibly dangerous children's animatronics.
Well, that's a bit concerning. But these should be great for that, since they're super light, have 8 hours of playtime, plus 36 hours of battery life with the charging case, and the ear hook part rotates, so they actually stay in. And you don't have to take my word for it. Raycon has over 3 million customers. Plus, if you don't like them, they have a 30-day guarantee.
All right then, thanks, sir.
Celebrate the moms in your life. Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/deadmeatopen to get 15% off the essential open earbuds. Thanks Raycon for sponsoring. This movie is buried in lore. How many bodies are buried with it? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins in 1982 at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but not the one we know. Forget that shit. This one's way cooler, with boat rides, cool merch, freaking pirate ships. Hell yeah, dude, this place is great. But maybe don't sit on the floor. It's still a pizza place. This sticky pants kid is Charlotte, and she doesn't just look like Esther. She acts like an orphan too. Part of that is she ain't got no friends, and part of that is her mom died. She's grown attached to an animatronic that comes out of the floor, but since it ain't showtime yet, she'll have to settle for the Yellow Rabbit channel. as long as she stays away from the other rabbit channel. We of course know this is William Afton, the main antagonist of the first film. He was the owner of Fazbear's Pizza and used it as a cover for his true passion, murdering children. That's why he takes this other kid backstage in a cool and not conspicuous way at all. Very natural, dude, no one noticed, good job. Except Charlotte did notice, and since the adults here fucking suck, she decides to do something about it herself. She's briefly stopped by her only human friend, a young Vanessa Shelley, who, reminder from the first movie, is William Afton's daughter. She warns her friend not to go a snooping, but Charlotte ignores her, heading backstage to find William washing off some non-existent blood after, what, putting this kid down for a nap? Charlotte rescues the boy by, holy shit, lifting him from the ground and carrying him? She's fucking strong, dude! But is she fast? Fast enough to escape this stabby bunny rabbit? She stumbles out on stage for a Jada Pinkett scream. While the other kid just goes back to his mom, because he's completely fine, I guess. Can't say the same for Charlotte, who's been stabbed thrice in the back. She collapses, and her body goes down to where Oompa Loompas will sing a song about her. Nah, just kidding. Her body wound up in the arms of this thing. Her favorite animatronic, the marionette. Yeah, hey parents, maybe clear the kids out of this place? No? Just let them keep staring to develop lifelong trauma? Okay, yeah, that's cool too. We get another arcade-themed credit sequence, complete with newspaper headlines about the incident. They reveal Charlotte was somehow blamed for getting stabbed in the back and killed? How could that possibly make sense? The pizzeria closed, but Afton soon opened a new location, the Fazbear's Pizza we know from the first movie. It promised to be bigger and better, which feels like the sequel telling fans what to expect compared to the first film. 20 years later, we're in 2002, 2 years after the events of the first movie. Remember, that took place in 2000, not present day. Oh shit, 9/11 took place between the FNAF films? Where were you on that autumn morning, Freddy? The last movie ended with Vanessa in a coma and the Schmidt siblings reunited. Vanessa's since recovered and is struggling to re-enter society, while not much has changed for Mike and Abby, aside from her height.
Piper grew like a foot between the first and second movie, which is amazing.
Abby's in middle school now, and her experience at Fazbear's has led to a love for robotics. Too bad her teacher, Mr. Berg, disapproves of Freddy and friends.
We're making real robots here, people.
Yes, only real robots, like big claws and wheels. He gets pissed when anyone mentions the Faz gang, which again does not make sense for a robotics teacher.
It's a mockery of everything that true robotics stands for.
How, dude? They're like the most impressive robots I've ever seen. There's actually a full-on Fazbear festival coming up, which is kind of distasteful. I mean, in universe, children were murdered, you know? And apparently it all got popular because of Mike and Abby's Aunt Jane? Are we sure?
Ever since your aunt went around telling stories about killer teddy bears, the whole damn town's lost his mind. Yeah, I heard they had your aunt committed, by the way.
The clunky exposition doesn't lie. Oh, god damn it, I counted her as dead in the last kill count. It's possible she's only knocked out. She is. Don't count her, James. No! Abby's really missing her Chucky chums, even though they, you know, tried to crush her inside an animatronic suit. She asks Mike if she can visit them, but he says they're not ready because he's still trying to repair them. The fucking liar! He goes on a not date with Vanessa at, I want to say, an Olive Garden. It's the perfect place to romance the daughter of the guy who killed your baby brother. Vanessa mentions she's been having nightmares about her dad, but doesn't want to follow Mike's advice of fixing it through lucid dreams.
Do you remember how I would use my dreams to confront what happened with Garrett?
I do remember that, yes. It was kind of the whole plot of the first movie. But thanks for the reminder. Mike returns to an empty house since Abby's run off to see her friends at Fazbear's. He finds her there, but the restaurant's been emptied and her friends are gone, both the animatronics and the ghost kids inhabiting them.
You know, maybe they're in heaven.
Whoa, hey, pump the brakes there, Mike. I can't even begin to think about how Jesus factors into this lore. To cheer her up, Mike offers her a toy that sings a familiar tune.
Oh, maybe not.
It's based on the Music Box theme, heavily featured in the first game, which signaled an animatronic attack. We heard Afton whistling it earlier. And it's derived from the real-life opera Carmen. Abby instead opts for this clearly haunted speak and spell called the Faz Talker, and the sibling relationship is all patched up. For all this movie's faults, the acting is not one of them. Josh Hutcherson and Piper Rubio have a very convincing sibling chemistry. I really buy how much they care about each other, even when some of the dialogue threatens to undermine the sincerity.
That's really cheesy.
A van cruises down the highway on its way to Fazbear's Pizzeria. Rob, Lisa, and Alex are a trio of ghost hunters with a web series so successful it automatically plays when you turn on the TV. And no wonder, with a name like Spectral Spoopies. They're used to breaking and entering to get their footage, but this time they've been invited.
Security guard who works there, his name is Mike.
But this is a different pizzeria. It's the first Fazbear's Pizza, the one with the boat ride from the opening.
This location came before the other one.
And it's also a different security guard named Mike.
It's Michael.
actually.
Oh, sorry, Michael. Michael Not Mike gives the Spooper Scoopers a tour of the premises, which includes a meet and greet with the band. These cutesy plastic iterations are the toy animatronics, the versions that appear in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 The Game. Just like with the first movie's kill count, I've relied on writer Tim for game and lore stuff, since he's a FNAF fan. Thanks, Tim.
It's my job.
Tim told me that, unlike in this movie, the Fazbear location in FNAF 2 The Game is brand new, with the toy animatronics the shiny replacements for the first game's band. In the movie's alternate lore, though, they're the original Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Foxy ain't around, because he got dismantled. Sorry, Foxy fans. You're called dum-dums, right? Even though she's the ostensible host and head spooper, Lisa separates from their guide and their cameraman to go wander around alone. You're missing out on valuable content, Lise. She's played by McKenna Grace, a veteran ghost hunter. We've seen her on the kill count in Malignant, playing the young version of a character because she did that a whole lot for a while there. Like, a whole lot. But now she's graduated to just being in everything ever, including an upcoming Scooby-Doo project where she'll play Daphne. So honestly, this movie's knockoff Scooby Gang is good practice for her. Her cameraman, Alex, is played by Teo Brio, kill count veteran thanks to the Chucky series and Final Destination Bloodlines. He's super stoked to shoot at this pizzeria.
I think this might be our best episode yet.
Are you sure about that? Because her host is nowhere to be found. Hell, even the third dude has wandered off. How the hell did this show get so big in the first place? God, and get out of the river ride, dude. What are you, a sewer inspector? Like in Slugs? Lisa follows her audio equipment readings to a music box in the basement, but she should be more concerned about the giant clockwork birthday gift back there, since it's the home of the marionette, who comes out and attacks her as the camera cuts away. The marionette is from the second game and became a recurring enemy throughout the franchise, though it's more commonly referred to as the puppet in the games. The movie marionette was mostly a rod puppet, controlled by up to 5 puppeteers, although sometimes they would use versions pulled by cables and controlled by radio. It has a much more fluid and elegant movement, as opposed to the more mechanical Fazbear Gang. Lisa's scream is heard by Alex, who surmises from Michael's shit-eating grin that they've been led into a trap. He's promptly pulled into the rafters and torn to pieces, with his body parts falling down for a camcorder close-up. On the boat ride, Rob discovers the water isn't just filled with Legionnaire's disease, but also a bunch of mini marionettes who devour him like a pack of John Kramer's favorite fish.
Piranha.
With the Spooper Boys flushed, Michael goes to check on Lisa. He finds her looking like the Babadook because she's been taken over by the spirit inside the marionette.
Welcome back, Charlotte.
Yep, it's Charlotte, whose spirit wound up in the marionette, just like how Freddy and friends were possessed by the ghosts of Afton's victims in the first film. But now her spirit has moved on from the marionette to McKenna Grace's body, because I guess everyone just trying to turn themselves into McKenna Grace. The Lisa Annette tries to make Michael her next meal, but he escapes into the parking lot. If you thought this scene was scarier than anything from the first movie, that's no accident. Based on fan feedback, Tammy and Cawthon tried to make this sequel scarier, with a darker atmosphere and more horror elements. They also increased the number of animatronics and game Easter eggs. They felt like the movie should be like the games, a collaborative experience that incorporated fan theories and opinions. Abby's been trying to call her friends with the Faz Talker to help her with her robot homework. That's what you had to do before ChatGPT. It doesn't seem to work at first, but later that night, her new toy starts giving commands.
Come join me.
That's the same phrase that was spelled out at the end of the first movie's credits. It was accompanied by My Grandfather's Clock, the Puppets theme in the game, as many of you pointed out after we mistakenly attributed the quote to Golden Freddy. I mean, I say we, but it was actually Tim. I'm throwing you under the bus, man.
You said you'd protect me from angry fans.
I fucking lied. Oh, on the subject of music though, listen to this shit. Is it just me, or does that sound a lot like Hello Zepp? Yeah, it does. I'm gonna call this track Hey There Zeep. Abby goes from Faz talking to Faz walking to Faz biking her way to the original restaurant. She discovers her best friend Chica, sporting a new body and new, booty shorts?
Do you like it?
It's neat, but it's
Weirdly sexy?
different.
Yeah, different. That's what I meant. Different. She sounds different too, since this time Chica's voiced by Megan Fox, who took the role because her kids were huge fans of the games. We've had Jennifer's body on the count before, now we're getting Jennifer's voice. She's actually not bad in the role, which was a nice surprise after hearing her Natara.
You Outworlders believe yourselves so superior.
In the meantime, Vanessa's been soul searching and cycling, but a stationary bike can't escape the golden bunnies she keeps seeing. Gets her so on edge, she's on the verge of friendly Fazfire. She decides to try Mike's method of lucid dreaming, but she's no match for Matthew Lillard at even half his power.
Don't you know that I care about you?
Afton chases her into his workshop, where child Vanessa gets a glimpse of, I don't know, this Wendy's ass looking thing. What? Oh. Okay, Tim's telling me it's a character from the games called Circus Baby. Cool. Vanessa becomes her cop self and shoots her dad until he arbagasps and hits the floor head first, but he still manages to have the last laugh.
You shall always be mine.
Oh man, the cast seemed to have a lot of fun on set. Look at Lillard doing these wire stunts. He's so cute.
The thing about making movies I don't think people really understand is that you're away from home. It's a little like summer camp.
Vanessa visits Mike and finds out Abby's been hanging around the old pizzeria, but Mike doesn't want to hear her out. See, earlier, he found a mysterious flyer saying Freddy's is mailed down. He called the number on it for a super important phone call that was entirely off screen, where he learned about Charlotte.
Her dad made that flyer, and so I called him, and he told me about his little girl and her best friend, Vanessa.
He's mad that Vanessa didn't tell him about her entire frickin' past, I guess, and ends up saying the quiet part aloud.
I'm trying to fix you.
You're trying to fix me?
If you fix me again, I will shoot you. Since those two are fighting now, Vanessa goes to Fazbear's alone and finds the music box broken and the puppet out of the bag. But Charlotte's not out of the building yet, thanks to a security system.
It's called a perimeter lock. None of the animatronics can leave.
Vanessa has the code to shut it off, but refuses to hand it over, much to Charlotte's chagrin.
I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way.
That line comes from the games and was added by McKenna Grace, a huge fan of the franchise.
I got us banned from playing the games as kids because we were too obsessed with it.
Oh, nobody gets it. Nobody understands how long I've been trying to become a part of this franchise.
I know I said the cast had a good time on set, but that's especially the case for Grace.
I was ridiculous, such a dork and a fan.
It's all right, McKenna. At least nothing truly embarrassing happened. Like Josh Hutcherson finding out you used to make fan cams of him or something.
I owe you an apology. I just blew up your spot. I told Josh that you were Team PETA back in the day and used to make those fan edits. He didn't know.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
You're the one to break it to me.
Well, why would you tell him?
Vanessa gets attacked by the puppet flying at her like a Scooby-Doo ghost as Abby's dropped off at the school science fair. Her project is a mini Chica, which pisses off the anti-matronic Mr. Bird. He doesn't think it's good enough to sit next to baking soda volcanoes, so he breaks it by dropping it on the floor.
I'm so sorry, Abby. I got that Butterfingers.
God, fuck. They got me with the JP reference.
Our lives are in your hands and you have Butterfingers?
Wayne Knight fucking rules. Abby bikes it back to Fazbear's for a birthday bib to cry on, where Chica offers up a solution.
I'll be your science project.
Only problem is that pesky perimeter lock, so Chica convinces Abby to disengage it for them. As you might have guessed, this Chica isn't Abby's friend at all. She's being controlled by the marionette, something Michael mentioned earlier.
The marionette would come out of this trap door on the stage and direct the other animatronics during performances.
That's right, using a wireless signal.
Okay, I know they say that the wireless signal was way ahead of its time when they used it for these animatronics back in the 80s, but in no world would they actually pay to develop that technology. They would just program the animatronics to look like they were being puppeted by the marionette. Why would there ever be an actual wireless connection between them? That's insane! Charlotte has Vanessa tied up, and with Abby under threat, finally gets the security perimeter code out of her. It's relayed to Chica, who tells Abby to punch it in, turning off the block. Wait, is this the first time we're seeing Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie up and running? Feels like we should have seen them sooner. With the robots in free roam mode, they and Abby get a cab ride from Corey X Kenshin, just like they did in the first movie. In fact, he's listening to Talking in Your Sleep, the de facto theme song for the first film. Much like he did in his Let's Plays, Corey gets jump scared by an animatronic.
I gotta get a new job.
Nah, man, you just gotta stop accepting fares from abandoned Fazbear restaurants. Who the fuck do you think you'd pick up there? Mike goes to meet the flyer guy, Charlotte's father, Henry Emily. He's played by Ulrich, who of course appeared alongside Lillard in the original Scream. They're partners here too, business partners. At least they used to be. Henry co-founded Fazbear Entertainment with William Afton. Ulrich does a great job in his scene, even when his dialogue makes him sound like a Fazbear tour guide.
There was only one at the first Freddy's. None of the later locations had one.
The convo's cut short when Mike realizes Abby's recent drawings match the original pizzeria. He heads there to find her, but not before Henry gives him a music box that used to be Charlotte's. Mike gets to the OG Fazbears and breaks in, where he stumbles upon the old animatronics from the first movie, looking real rough.
Actually, those are a different set of animatronics. They're the withered variants of the band.
What's that even mean?
Well, in the game, they were the original band who was left to rot after being replaced by the toys.
Okay, but this isn't the games, it's the movies.
I know.
So in the lore of the movies?
I guess it's just a random, unrelated set of robots who are also here.
That's fucking dumb.
I'm not gonna argue there, but they do look pretty cool, don't they? Especially No-Face Bonnie.
That's not good enough! None of this is good enough! Mike fails to spot the body of Lisa, whose, life energy has been drained or something? I don't know, it's not really clear. All I know is it's the end of Grace in this movie, which is sad. She did a great job being creepy as the Lisa Annette. Mike finds Vanessa stuffed inside a closet. She explains everything that's happened until he understands. Must be nice! She says Charlotte blames the town's grown-ups for what happened to her, and now she wants to kill them all. I mean, fair enough, those 80s parents were dicks. Vanessa had been keeping Charlotte's spirit at rest all these years by playing her a lullaby from a music box. It's a mechanic straight out of the game, where failing to wind up the puppet's music box would result in a pretty instant game over. The box Vanessa used is broken, but thankfully Henry gave Mike another one. They can use it to defeat Charlotte, they'll just have to track her down first. They hit up the security terminal, which will let them track the locations of the escaped animatronics. Since they're being controlled through a wireless signal, Mike stays behind to try to shut it off, while Vanessa leaves to find the rampaging robots. They're currently at FazFest, living it up with all the other Faz fucks.
Dude, that costume is legendary.
FazFest features a whole bunch of costumed extras, including various FNAF YouTubers like Razbowski. These cosplays are courtesy of costume designer Whitney Ann Adams, whose work we've seen in Happy Death Day to You and Freak Yeah! She was new to FNAF though, not having worked on the first film, so she made sure to do her homework and ensure the movie's fan-made costumes look like fan-made costumes in real life.
If any fan has ever made a cosplay costume and posted it on the internet, I've seen it.
She even joined the FNAF subreddit as part of her research, underlining just how much this crew cared about pleasing the fans.
I wanted every person out there to feel like they see themselves.
Chica makes a splash at the science fair, but Mr. Berg accuses her of being a person in a suit. Dude, even if that was true, Abby would have had to build the suit, and that thing's a prize winner all on its own. Since he won't stop being a douchebag, Chica says, mark her words, his day of reckoning is coming.
I just want to see what's going on inside of his head.
You know, that's not a bad joke, but humor isn't this robot chicken's strength, so she needlessly repeats it 2 minutes later.
What I want is to see what's going on inside of your head.
True to her words, Toy Chica goes full Omni-Man on Berg and crushes his skull between her hands. Or wings? She's a chicken. Shouldn't she have wings? With Berg out of the way, Abby wins the science fair. Unsurprising, since she has a literal Jim Henson creation behind her. The legendary effects company returned to make the movie's animatronics, including the new toy versions, which were a much harder plastic than the soft fleece costumes from the first film. The restrictive suits presented a host of new challenges for returning performers Jess Weiss, Kevin Foster, and Jade Kendar Martin.
We had to figure out ways of resting without being able to sit.
On top of the stiff movement, they also had 16-pound helmets full of loud mechanics that blocked their visibility.
You're not wearing a costume and performing. You're driving a suit.
Toy Chica realizes Mike's poking and prodding around their system, so she activates the withered animatronics to stop him. Meanwhile, Vanessa's still driving around looking for the toy animatronics, who are trying to fulfill Charlotte's mission of killing random adults, I guess. Toy Freddy breaks into a home and gets meat slapped in the face, while Toy Bonnie befriends a little girl whose mom he plans to kill.
I'm gonna go see if your mom will let us stay up late.
Toy Bonnie's voiced by a pitched-up Matt Pat, doing a great job after his quick cameo in the first film. I didn't expect him to do such a different voice than his own, but he gives Bonnie a lot of character. Toy Freddy is voiced by Kellen Goff. He voiced OG Freddy and Foxy in the previous film, and he's voiced several other iterations of Freddy in the games. Vanessa has to contend with the most dangerous of the bunch, though, Toy Foxy. Oh, but James, I thought you said Toy Foxy was taken apart. Yeah, I did, you idiots. This is actually Mangle, duh. Everybody knows Mangle. Thank you for telling me about Mangle, Tim. He's the result of a botched Build-A-Bear type attraction where kids got to take Foxy apart and put him back together again. Looks like Mangle was put back together by Sid from Toy Story.
Kids can be so heartless.
The Hitchfoxer fucks up Vanessa's shit, even driving her off the road at one point. But after grabbing at her for a bit, she's able to drive away again. But I guess he's still on top of the car, because when it cuts back to them later, he's still Ghost Kid riding the whip. It's a messy sequence. But it's also an impressive one, considering all the mechanical animatronic elements. Shooting the car scene was a slow process, since they had to map out Mangle's precise movement for each individual shot. It was important to know exactly what would be seen and for how long, since it took 9 puppeteers to control Mangle's 2 heads, 3 legs, and 2 arms, with additional crew members remotely operating the face. Despite all the work, Tammy called Mangle the most fun animatronic to shoot with. Vanessa drives the car to Toy Freddy's location and frickin' launches Mangle at him through a window. Okay, that was pretty incredible. She leads the couple to safety with a random cameo from Doug and Jane's timorous lawyer. I don't mind it though. He made me laugh in the first film.
I just realized
I shouldn't be hearing any of this. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't be here at all.
Back at Fazbear's, Mike is still trying to turn off the animatronics. Dude, can you hurry it up a little bit? The security office he's in was modeled closely after the one from the second game by returning production designer Mark Fisichella. It's accurate down to its non-existent security doors.
There isn't a door? What kind of idiot designed this place?
And the crowd, oh, how they laughed and clapped. Fisichella had his work cut out for him, since now he had 2 pizzerias to build. The front of the new restaurant was a giant facade, just a storefront in the middle of a parking lot, but the interiors were fully realized sets. That includes the smaller music box set, where the walls were built to move to accommodate cameras and puppeteers. The stairs and tunnels leading down to that central gearbox were based on the Paris catacombs. The main part of the restaurant was built to look shiny and new for the opening scene, but then they had to age it 20 years for the abandoned version seen in the rest of the film. The most impressive and complicated part was the riverboat ride. It was 4 feet deep, 5 feet across, and 200 feet long. That's a lot of water.
We have water safety on set because there are boats floating on a river.
It had to be drained every night, which did give them the chance to age the walls and bottom by painting them with rust and algae. Just like with the first film, Fisichella and his team included tons of Easter eggs, like the hanging stars in the office, these decorative paper pals, and the clocks all being set to 5:59, 1 minute before the end of your shift in the game. There were also these cups, which were apparently important enough for them to hand make hundreds. As always, the art team for these movies is nothing if not thorough. All you FNAF fans should really appreciate these truly talented people. Withered Freddy almost reaches Mike until he uses an old mask to pass himself off as another animatronic. I understand this is a mechanic in the second game, but it's still absurd that anyone would think to try it.
There's no way that'll work.
And it shouldn't, but it's part of the endless chum this movie throws to fans. Speaking of which, Mike gets jump scared by Balloon Boy, who attacked him on the riverboat ride earlier. This propeller-headed fuck showed up in the first film as a figurine, but gets the full animatronic treatment this time around. That's only fair, since the game Five Nights 2 was his first appearance in the franchise. He becomes a portable lighthouse or something, but it's honestly not effective. Mike rips his head off. What a little bitch. The other animatronics won't go down quite so easily, and though Mike tries the mask trick again, it doesn't work on Withered Foxy, just like in the game! Unlike in the game, Foxy takes his sweet-ass time killing Mike, giving him the chance to browse the computer and find the shutdown button. This whole set piece sucks, dude. It doesn't feel like Mike is actually reacting to anything. He's just sweating at a desk saying weird ADR about what he's doing.
It's now or never. I have to disable the signal.
There's nothing suspenseful or exciting about a dude clicking on a computer. He eventually succeeds in shutting down the Withereds and the toy animatronics, just barely stopping Bonnie from committing matricide. Good thing the dad wasn't there, or it could have been a Matt patricide. One dot is still mysteriously moving, and it's at Mike's house since Abby's being tucked in by Toy Chica. Unlike My Money, her chest starts to jiggle before cracking open to reveal the marionette. She attacks Abby, and for some reason is able to reactivate the toy animatronics. Whatever. Mike's rushing home when Vanessa calls him, saying they need backup.
We're outmatched. We need more help.
So maybe call like the cops or like the army? Nah, they're gonna head to Fazbear's Pizza. The original one. Or the one from the original movie, which in movie lore is the second location? I got that right? Mike begs the ghost kids to come save Abby, but it doesn't work, so he leaves. He just went there, and now he leaves. Vanessa's car breaks down, so she hitches a ride with Jeremiah, Mike's co-worker from the beginning of the first film. We saw him earlier in this movie too, helping Mike with home renovations and exposition. He drops her off at Mike's house where she finds a Babadookified Abby, really having a blast. The marionette has possessed her, since apparently Charlotte needs a host body.
It seems like the marionette needs something or someone to bond to in order to move around.
Wait, what? I thought that's what the puppet was for. Is the marionette not her host body? Is she a ghost possessing an animatronic? Or is the animatronic the ghost? Or does a human host allow her to be more mobile than the marionette? Tim?
I don't know. None of this is in the games.
For the preposterous puppet possessions, both Grace and Rubio wore makeup that was digitally enhanced to give them a more animatronic look. Costume designer Adams also gave Abby a striped sweater that transitions through different stages until it winds up matching the marionette's outfit. The VFX team added the same stripe design to Abby's limbs. Piper Rubio really loved her time as the Abbionette, and I don't blame her. I'm jealous of how fun this looks to do. Once in makeup, she'd stay in character and try to scare everyone on set. As mentioned in the first movie's kill count, Rubio's a huge fan of the franchise, and her enthusiasm did not diminish between productions.
It's Toy Chica. It's the Paper Pals. Circus baby.
The Amulet nearly kills Vanessa, but Mike shows up with the music box to exorcise the demon. Except it happens completely off screen. The main villain of the movie is defeated off screen. What the fuck? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. This puppet possession is nonsense, even by FNAF standards. The trio tries to leave, but they're blocked by the toy animatronics and their actual leader, a villain so scary he has to turn on the lights before he talks. Slinking around all shadow and bone is fucking Mike.
I'm Michael.
Sorry, Michael. But Michael's not just some creepy security guard. Get a load of his last name.
Michael Afton.
Yep, he's Vanessa's brother! If you remember, this Mike was a game character who Mike Schmidt was named after for the first movie. But what? They changed their mind and put him in the movies too? So now we have two Michaels running around? That's just great. Michael, the Afton one, reveals he organized Fast Fest himself so the animatronics could kill everyone.
Half of this town will be dead by morning.
Holy shit, that sounds awesome. Sure hope we see it. He extends an invitation to his sister, but there's only room for one Mike in her life now. The toy animatronics prepare to kill them before Bonnie is suddenly yoinked out the window by, oh my god, it's OG Foxy! Who stomps on Toy Bonnie's head like he was Michael fucking Myers. Toy Freddy gets ripped in half by the dirty, smelly version we know and love, and Toy Chica gets decapitated by Furry Chica. Or Feather Chica, she's a bird, she has feathers. The whole thing is a very Avengers-like sequence that even has pauses for applause. Too bad the Toy Squad goes down so quickly. Even wow, their shit's weak. This climactic scene had animatronics freaking everywhere, and the behind the scenes footage is a lot of fun to watch. I especially like seeing Chica standing on her mark. For all the fighting, the toy animatronics' hard plastic suits were swapped out for squishier urethane, which helped protect the people inside them as they performed the stunts. They were excited to get to play the OG animatronics too. Compared to the plastic toy versions, getting back into the soft costumes from the first film was like slipping on an old comfy pair of pants. Michael tries to make a run for it, but gets clotheslined by Jeremiah. Drat. Foiled again! Now that the evil is vanquished, the OG animatronics start to shut down as well.
They weren't made to leave Freddy's.
Okay, but they did, and they just kicked a lot of ass. But it's fine, whatever. Lead Ghost Kid returns to confirm the existence of God.
Are you going to heaven? See you there someday?
Before he says goodbye, he warns Mike that the Ghost Kids were the only thing keeping William Afton at bay. Since they're moving on to heaven now, he'll be free again? Before Mike can ask what the fuck that means, the kids are gone. Mike gets mad at Vanessa for keeping too many secrets and tells her to stay away from them. Then he and Abby leave. Wait, where the fuck are y'all going? This is your house! You live here! Vanessa's left alone, probably wondering if she's supposed to lock up, when she gets attacked and possessed by the marionette. Wait, that's how the movie ends? That's how it ends? There is a mid-credits scene that takes place in the OG restaurant as a group of home haunters pick it for parts. They're setting up a haunted house based on the Fazbear legend, a plot that I'm told comes from the third game. In the back room, they stumble upon the golden bunny body of William Afton. They wrap him up to go, not noticing the twinkle in his eye, because he always comes back. This movie had toy bots, withered bots, and bots from beyond the grave. But how many kills did they get? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Jesus! Springroll, no! You can't get me. You can't go! What? What the fuck?
The mask thing wouldn't work on Springtrap. He's not even in the second game. It's important to know these things.
Only 5 people died in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There were 3 male victims and 2 female victims, giving us this pizzeria pie chart. We've only seen this count and breakdown in 3 other movies before, and 2 of them were Brian Usna joints. Weird. With a runtime of 104 minutes, FNAF 2 had a kill on average every 20.8 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Alex. Just like Max the babysitter, it's a rated R kill rendered PG-13 through clever framing, which I mean as a compliment. Doll Machete for lamest kill will go to his co-host Lisa, since it robs the franchise of more McKenna Grace. Also, what even happened to her? Abby didn't die when the puppet stopped possessing her, so what gives? What happened to her? And that's it. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out in 2025 and made a whole bunch of money, so I guess I'll see you when the third one comes out. Next week, we're getting back to the Psycho series, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the shower, here comes Psycho 2. After 2 decades away, guess who's finally back in town?
You must be Norman Bates.
Bates is back in business and hoping for a fresh start.
No, I don't kill people anymore, remember?
But coming home is never easy.
Something wrong, Norman?
Especially not in a town full of people waiting for him to slip up.
Go on, Psycho, pick it up.
And hiding sinister secrets of their own.
You're sicker than I ever was.
You might think the original Psycho's an impossible act to follow.
I guess I'm just nervous.
Don't be. Against all odds, the sequel pulls it off without a Hitchcock.
How do you know that?
because I watched it, and you should too. This week, check back into the Bates Motel for Psycho 2.
What kind of a motel are you running here?
Then on Friday, return to Home Sweet Homicide for the kill count. Only on Dead Meat.
No, I don't have to kill people anymore, remember?
Yeah, you said that. I mean, the fact that you said it again makes me maybe kind of doubt you, Norman.
Yes, I understand. Mother?
Psycho 2 can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Hey, thanks a lot for watching the kill count for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Want to thank Tim for all your work on the script. Thank you so much. And then Michael and Reese from Withered Creations with a Z. Thank you guys so much. We didn't have this in place not even 4 hours ago.
Nope, but it worked out.
I sent out a message on Instagram asking if anyone knew any good Five Nights cosplayers, and a lot of people sent me your page. So check it out. It's so good. I love this creation. Once you put it on in the suit, it's so cool to see. It's so big.
Yeah.
How long did it take you guys to make this?
So it took me a month and a half to build. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started right after I saw the FNAF movie. I was thinking like, who do I make? Do I make another Withered? I've done them so many times. Let's go with the Yellow Rabbit.
Looks great. Yeah. You're so large and you don't even have the feet on it.
No, I think that's one of the biggest difficulties with it because you're hitting chandeliers in and all sorts of stuff.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for making the drive out here and being part of this. Check out their stuff. It's Withered Creations with the Z on Instagram. Anything else?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
All right, check it out.
Thank you.
Also want to thank some patrons: PoultryMaster99, Austin Laura, Wyatt Tame, Lexi, and Amanda Bartlett. Thanks, everyone. Be good people.